Hi, third graders. I'm so happy that you're here with me. First, I just want to say that I miss you guys so much. Hopefully these YouTube videos are a little bit helpful as you are working and still learning while we can't be together. So I want to say hi, Cameron, and hi, Cassius, and hi to Amaya, hi to Dream, hi, Journey, hi, Kennedy, hi, Alicia, hi to Marvion. I hope you guys are staying healthy. I am going to quickly in this video do the directions for packet 2. This is for week 2 of our remote learning. And it should say week 2 at the top of your page. And I wrote the dates that it's going to be for the week of March 30th through April the 3rd. So that first week back from our spring break, which I hope was great. So just like before, I'm going to hold up the page that I'm talking about. So hopefully you can hear the directions, pause, do the work. But if you don't need directions for a page, you can fast forward until you see the one that you do need. So just like before, this is the one. Starts with, says week 2 at the top, gives a quick overview of what we're doing this week, and it has some tools at the bottom. You do not need to do anything on this page. These are tools for you to use as you are completing your work. If you want an overview of some other tools, you may go back and watch the beginning of the week 1 video. So that's page 1. Page 2 looks like this. It is adding 3-digit numbers in columns, no regrouping. Remember, other words for regrouping are exchanging. Parents might know this as carrying the one or borrowing. We're going to call it regrouping on this page. So you are going to work through these problems just like always. You're going to start with your units, add your units. Well, it helps if I can see. Add your units, add your tens, add your hundreds. They've told you right at the top we're not going to need to exchange or regroup, so it should be pretty straightforward. But then they want you to think about as you are finishing this paper, so you do four problems 3 times. You're going to do 12 problems. And after you're finished, they want you to do a little bit of thinking and explain down here with your words why you did not have to regroup in any of the problems above. How are these problems set up so that they knew you would have no regrouping, and why? How did that turn out for you? And so just talk about why. Page 2 in our, or I guess page 3, it says page 20 at the bottom of your packet and mine is this paper right here. And so we are identifying fractions using blocks. Write the fraction. So you're going to need to know how many pieces do I have all together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this whole rectangle has been divided into fifths. How many are colored? 1. So it wants to know the shaded fraction, not the empty fraction, the shaded, the gray fraction. So what fraction of this rectangle is shaded? 1 out of 5 total pieces, or 1/5. And you just write your answer 1/5 right here on the line. Do all of those problems the same way. This next page, it says identifying quadrilaterals, and it is asking you to match the names to the shapes. And I believe, okay, so these shapes are right here in the middle: square, rectangle, rhombus, trapezoid, parallelogram, and kite. Okay, so one thing that I notice about all of these shapes is that they all have 4 sides and 4 angles or 4 corners. So those are called quadrilaterals. But because they have different characteristics, they have some special names for different kinds of quadrilaterals. You're going to go ahead and match those. My advice with matching is always match the ones that you know best first. Read the words, see what you can figure out. There's some hints here in the names. If for some reason you don't remember any of your names of quadrilaterals, that would be a great thing to look up on a phone or a tablet, are characteristics of quadrilaterals, and I promise that you will find materials to match those if you need a little bit of help after you've done your very, very best on your own. And at the very, very bottom, there is what are the characteristics of a rectangle? And so how do you know something is a rectangle versus maybe a trapezoid or a kite? Okay, so it's going to ask you to kind of think about, notice what you match to rectangle versus something different, and then write down the characteristics that make something a rectangle. The next page, I actually really like this one. The meaning of division. The directions say, divide the food between the kids. Circle the correct equation. So remember, whenever we're talking about division, that we want to make sure we have equal groups. Look at all these children here. They all look equally nice. I would not want to give somebody all of the bananas and leave somebody out in the cold. I want to make sure everyone has the exact same number of bananas. So I'm going to figure out, let's see here, I can count by twos because they're all paired up. I like that. 2, 4, 6, 8 bananas. And I'm dividing that. So I've got 8 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4 children who are hungry for bananas. So making sure everyone gets the same amount of bananas. I'm going to say I can draw this all out if I want to. 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. Oh, I've divided my first column and given everybody 1 banana. That's fair, but I have 4 bananas left to go. I'll just do it again. That's how it goes when I pass things out equally. 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, and 1 for you. How many, the answer to any division problem is how many did each person, or how many did one person get? Each child ended up with 2 bananas. So 8 bananas divided among 4 children means each child got 2 bananas for him or herself. So I wonder, the next thing that it asks me after I've divided my food is to choose the correct equation down here. So which one of these equations shows what I just did? 8 divided into 4 equal groups equals 2. Let's see. Was it 5 times 2? Definitely not. 12 divided by 4. No, I didn't start with 12. 8 divided by 4. That really sounds like what I did. 8 bananas, 4 equal groups. 8 divided by 4. What's my last choice? 8 minus 4? No, I didn't just take away 4. I divided. 8 divided by 4. I'm going to circle that choice for myself. How many bananas does each kid get? Well, after I passed them out, that was pretty obvious. Each child had 2 bananas. I'm going to write it right there. 8 divided by 4. Here's my answer, 2. And because it's a word problem, I always like to put words or labels in my answer. So I'm actually going to write next to that 2 bananas. How many bananas does each kid get? 2 bananas. And I wrote it right on there. I know there's not a space for it, but I know that's the best thing to do when I have word problems. the next page in your packet, you're switching gears. We're going to look at this ELA story, which is our English language arts. The directions are read the passage, answer the questions. It's kind of interesting because the passage, we're reading it, we're using our fluency skills, our decoding skills, but the subject matter is about evaluating in math. So it's kind of related to the skills we were just doing. And it starts off with, you have learned to do all different kinds of math by now, which is completely true. So you're going to read that. If you're watching this right now, you can pause this, read the passage to yourself, read the passage to a grown-up or a sibling or your cat. You know, it's the best always to read it at least 2 times to make sure that we get all of the details and all of the meaning. Doesn't hurt to read it a 3rd time as well. After you've read to yourself, you're going to answer these questions at the bottom. What does it mean to solve a problem? Now remember, do they want to hear your ideas about what it means to solve a problem? No. We're looking for the evidence from the text we just read. So you're going to use a whole sentence. What does it mean to solve a problem? Solving a problem means, here's what the text said. Or, according to the text, blah, 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 is what it means to solve a problem. Okay, so make sure you're looking for that evidence. It's not at this point when we're doing our reading comprehension or reading fluency, it's not about your ideas and what you might be thinking as much as we want to see that you read and understood this text right here. So make sure that you're looking for your evidence. Number 2, why might the word evaluate be confusing when you see it in math for the first time? And I will tell you, that's one I'm not even sure about. So I'm reading this question before I read the passage. Why might the word evaluate be confusing when you see it in math for the first time? That actually makes me very excited to read this passage because I want to know their ideas about that. What does the word synonym mean in the 3rd paragraph? That's question number 3. I have my ideas about what a synonym is. We've talked about that. We've talked about words that have multiple meanings. So I'm going to use that understanding. But it says, what does the word synonym mean in the 3rd paragraph? So I'm going to go count my paragraphs. 1st paragraph, 2nd paragraph, 3rd paragraph. I'm going to find the word synonym. How did the author use it? And I'm going to be able to answer, what does it mean as it's used here in the 3rd paragraph? Question 4, why is it important to always show your work when you do math? Find the evidence, write it in a whole sentence. And 5, what does evaluate mean in math? It's kind of a big picture question. So make sure your text is right here. It's so nice. It's connected to your questions. Use a separate piece of paper if you need to write out all of your good ideas, but make sure that you're referring back to the text often. On the top of the next page is the end of that ELA assignment because they want you to evaluate how did you do. And so this is the time to really be honest with yourself. Did you take time? Did you read it more than once? Did you answer everything in a complete sentence? Did you find your evidence? How did you do? And you can give yourself a little grade right there. And then it moves into the fine arts visual art assignment. Visual art directions using a pencil and or colored pencils, markers, and or crayons. Students will complete each assigned sketchbook page. Okay, so that tells me that you have all of those options. It doesn't give you one thing to use. You may choose from this list. Your learning outcomes, students will combine and apply artistic and reasoning skills to imagine, create, realize, and refine artworks in conventional and innovative ways. That sounds really exciting. Innovative means new and different and things you might not have seen elsewhere. The task is to follow the directions on your sketchbook pages. Make sure your work is neat, detailed, and interesting. I wonder if you might have to do it a couple times or a couple different examples, because that might be hard to get right on the very first try. How do I know my work is good? These are the questions you're going to ask yourself when you're finished. Does my work have good craftsmanship? That was hard to say for me, but it means, is it completed neatly? Did you really try your best? Is my work interesting? Does it have detail? Does my work complete the tasks required? And it says, what if I need help? Ask a grown-up. Any grown-up, I imagine, would be pretty happy to help you. Of course, this is something that you can send me a message in Schoology about if you need to. I bet you might also be able to contact Miss Stephanie on Schoology as well. Okay, so here is your sketchbook page. These are angular, jagged lines. Try drawing a repeating line design using straight, jagged, zigzag, and angular lines. And so you're just kind of like looking at this example. I don't think that yours needs to look exactly like this. You are going to do some lines and repeat them on your piece of paper. So that is your art assignment. I am, oh, and then there's another half of your art assignment. Okay, so it says here, these curvy lines are expressive and varied. Try drawing your own curvy line design. So these are kind of based on doodles. It looks like you could kind of get started maybe as you're going. Oh, you kind of didn't like that, you kind of messed up. That's okay, it's a sketchbook. You don't even have to throw it away or recycle it. You can turn the page or get a new paper or try drawing. If you didn't like this, you could try drawing in the corners, okay? And just adding, changing. It's practice for you. Remember, you're going to evaluate that on, did you make it interesting? Did you follow directions? Did you add a lot of details, okay? As I look at this, I see a lot of details. I see some swirlies. I see some loops here where they went back in. I see they made some little leaf shapes and some curly cues. So they just tried to go and add some details. As long as you are doing that and you're doing your best, you're going to be able to say, yeah, I tried my best on this assignment. At the bottom of this page begins your music assignment. The directions for that, the student should create 2 questions that he or she, that's you, can ask a family member. Those questions should be in full sentence format and written in the spaces provided below. So here's the directions, here's an example, but it's all connected to this last page of your assignment where they give you space to write these questions that they're talking about. The student should choose a person to ask and document the answers in full sentence format in the space below. So you make 2 questions, you're going to write them out in a full sentence. You're not just going to be like, game. You'd say, what is your favorite game to play? Okay, full sentences. Then the student should practice each question and answer like a rap song and chant them over and over again to show that it is in rhythm. Ooh, we got to make a beat for this. I like it. Finally, the student should clap the rhythm of the words as a rhythmic pattern without speaking the words. At that point, the student has created his or her own rhythmic phrase. Wow, this is really, really interesting. The example that they give you is, what is your favorite color? And the answer is, my favorite color is red. And so here, they've given you an example of the rhythm that they've got it. What is your favorite color? I don't actually know that I'm doing this perfectly correctly, but I am trying my best. My favorite color is red. Ooh, okay. So I would practice that and practice that and practice that rhythm. What is your favorite color? My favorite color is red. And I'd practice and practice and practice until I really had that rhythm in my body, and then I would practice just clapping it. Okay, I kind of did it. I don't know. But it's going to be based on your questions and the answers that you get. So it's kind of actually a really interesting project. And I would love to see this paper that you create when you are doing your this activity. I would love to see how you write it out. I would love to see how you clap it out and the questions that you ask. So that's pretty interesting to me. That is actually the end of your packet. So I am guessing that you guys are still working on your timelines from week 1 for social studies, and a lot of Miss Camille's ReadWorks assignments are going to cover science, and you can print the PE worksheet tracker for every week. So if you went back to your packet and you looked at page, I think it was page 3 maybe, last time here, and printed one of those trackers, you could just print another one from week 1 for this week as well. So hopefully you guys are doing so great, and I really miss you. It just makes my day when I see you guys pop up in the chat or send me a message in my email. You can now send me messages on Schoology, which I think is how we will be keeping in touch. So have another great week, and I can't wait till I see you soon. Bye.